A very good morning and welcome to this session of Yoga Online. Come to sit comfortably. Sit balanced on both the right and the left side. Lift the sides of the trunk. Lift the shoulder blades. Lift the sternum. Join your palms together and feel that the forearm is lightly brushing along the side ribs. Lift the crown of the head. Focus on your breath. We'll begin by chanting Om 3 times. Take a slow, deep breath in. Om. 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 Release your hands, open your eyes, and come to sit tall. Press the back of your hand against the thigh to lift the trunk, and focus on the length of the sternum away from the hips. Draw the elbows in towards the sides of the trunk, let the palm face out, and feel the action of the concave back once again, like we did yesterday. Move the shoulder blades into the body and maintaining the concave back as you breathe out, release the chin to the chest. Stretch at the back of the neck. Place your fingertips on the floor, stretch out your legs, and fold the leg the other way. Breathing in, raise up the arms. Focus on the length of the sternum away from the hips. And take the upper arm slightly behind the ear, spread your palms and spread your fingers. Feel the shoulder blades moving in towards the sternum and spread them, creating a spread in the back body and the front body. As you breathe in, take the upper arm slightly more behind the ear and look up. Feel the shoulder blades moving into the body. Release your gaze forward, stretch the arms up, breathe out and release. We will continue with forward extensions today. And those of you that have lower back issue or prolapsed disc, stay upright. It's not necessary to move forward at this stage, but create your L shape. Straighten up the legs for Dandasana. Keep the feet hip width apart. Interlace your fingers in front of you, rotate up the wrist, turn the palms away from you. Breathing in, raise up the arms, up arms in line with the ear. And now extend the wrists away from the hip. Extend your heels away from the hip and stretch up. Stretch both those lines from the hip to the heels and from the hip to the wrist and extend those lines. Stretch the armpits, stretch the sides of the trunk as you lift. Release your hands. Change the bind of your interlace. Rotate at the wrist, turn the palms away from you. Breathing in, raise up the arms. Now move the sternum slightly forward, not too much. Pin the buttock down and stretch up, creating more of an acute angle. Stretch the armpit, move the shoulder blades in and press your thighs down. Breathe in, raise up the arms, release your fingertips and come to turn to face the side of your mat. I would suggest keeping 2 blocks or your chair handy. Come to sit With your knees as wide as the mat, sit on your heels. Walk your hands forward. Move the shoulder blades forward and pin the buttock down. Thighs down. And now stretch forward. Stretch forward. If you choose, you can place your palms onto your blocks and extend the trunk forward. Move the hip back, move the buttock back, and release your foot. Opens up the shoulders as well. Feel the length of the trunk, the softness of the abdomen, and move the sternum away from the hips. This is also good for the hip flexors. And move the buttocks towards the heels, stretch the trunk. Reach your hands. And a gentle stretch into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lifting the hips, stretch the legs. At this stage, it's not necessary to take your heels down, but rather feel the stretch of the front body and the back body, and stretch the back of the legs. Stretch the heel towards the mat. Open the backs of the knees. Step the right leg forward, almost into a lunge. You can choose to keep your fingertips on the floor or place them onto the blocks and walk to straight knee. Keeping the trunk straight and feel the backs of the legs opening. Lengthen the sternum away from the hips. If you need to use more height, take more height. You can even use a chair. Place your palms on the chair and extend the trunk forward. The focus here is open the backs of the legs, the knees. Feel your thighs working and gaze forward. Release the pose. Come back into Adho Mukha Svanasana and step the leg forward. Place your hands on the block or on the mat, or you can choose to keep the long side and walk to straight knee. That's all we're doing. Opening the backs of the legs and gazing. Widens and lengthens the hamstrings, and the work here is to lengthen the sternum away from the hips. Backs of the legs stretching as you do this. Release your block, or if your fingertips are on the floor, slide back into Adho Mukha Svanasana and focus on opening the backs of the legs by stretching the heels down towards the floor. Move the front thigh to the back thigh, stretch the thighs and feel the buttock fresh moving over the hip. Soften the abdomen, stretch the armpit and release once again. Into child's pose, take the knees as wide as the mat and stretch forward. This is good to release the lower back as well. Your hands back. Walk your hands back and come to stand. Come to stand with the feet hip width apart. Bind your hands behind you. Move the forearm into the back. Lift the navel away from the hip. Lift the sternum away from the navel and look up. Focus on opening the backs of the legs. Breathing in, lift the hips. As you breathe out, maintain the height of the shoulders and stretch the heels as you stretch the back of the legs. Lift the hips away from the knee. And push the front thigh to the back thigh, lift the thighs, open the backs of the knees, lift the backs of the knees. As you breathe out, hinge at the hips and fold. Now imagine those legs in Adho Mukha Svanasana when you're opening the backs of the legs, stretching the back of the legs to lengthen the trunk. Breathe in to come up. Breathe in to come up. Release your hands. Raise up your arms once again. Bend at the elbows. Wrap your fingers around the elbows. Stretch the armpits. A full extension. Now as you breathe out, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Slightly bend the knees so that the trunk rests on the thighs and stretch the elbows down. Feel the back stretch. Once you stretch the back and drew your elbows towards the mat, walk to straighten the legs. Feel the groins lifting, the buttock flesh moving over the hip, open the backs of the legs. Side bend in the knee, breathe in to come up. Release your hands. Raise up the arms one more, change the bind of your posture. Stretch up the trunk, move the shoulder blades into the body. Hinge at the hips, fold forward. A full stretch. Draw the elbows down, bend the knees slightly, stretch the trunk, and now walk to straighten the legs. Backs of the knees. Soften the abdomen. Use the weight of the elbows to stretch the spine down. Slight bend in the knee. Breathing to come up. Release your hands. Step your feet wider apart. Prasarita action. Place your hands on your hips. Draw the elbows together. Breathe in and look up, maintaining a concave back. As you breathe out, hinge at the hips, fold forward. If you're staying with the trunk horizontal, the spine horizontal, that's perfectly fine. If you can you release the sternum, lower to the floor, but continue gazing forward. With your hands, move the buttock flesh over the hip to lengthen the spine. Lengthen the spine, open the backs of the knees, and release the sternum down. Feel the backs of the legs stretch as you release the sternum lower to the floor. It's important to maintain a concave back. If you have any lower back issues, take 2 blocks. Cup your fingers onto the blocks and continue to gaze forward. If you have any disc issues, this posture is better for you. Those of you that can, widen the elbows away from each other. Take the buttock flesh over the hip and lengthen the trunk down. With the sternum going first, gaze forward or gaze at the floor. Straighten the arms. Release your hands onto your hips. Breathing to come up. Toe heel, walk your legs together. Breathing in, raise up your arms. A full extension, upper arm behind the ear. Now focus on lengthening the backs of the legs once again. And the work here is to keep the upper arm fixed to the ear. Breathe in and lift. So it doesn't matter how much you go down, but rather you keep your upper arm in line with the ear. Interlock your thumbs, turn the palms to face forward. Take a full breath in, concave back once again. And as you breathe out, keep the upper arm in line with the ear and stretch forward. You don't have to necessarily go down, but stretch forward. Feel the back body opening, and now release the trunk forward, upper arm in line with the ear, and extend the arms down to take the trunk down. You'll feel it in the buttock and the backs of the legs. Move the front thigh to the back thigh, open the backs of the knees, lift the belly. Place your hands on your hips, breathe in. So you'll find that the more you want to extend forward, the more you have to open up the backs of the legs. Come to sit. Sit on support and take a strap. Take a strap. Extend the legs wide into Upavista Konasana. Bend the knees. Hold both your toes and work to straighten the legs and lift the sternum away from the floor. Your heel away from you and your toes towards you. This helps to open up the backs of the knees. Push the thighs down, soften the abdomen and lengthen the spine. Hands and fold your left leg. Pull the left leg in so that the foot of the left leg is against the right thigh. It's important to focus on the bent knee. Turn your trunk to face the straight leg, which is your right leg. And as preparation for the forward fold, you'll work on each leg independently. Keep the strap extended, keep the arms extended. So before we attempt to go down, we have to go up. Focus on this knee moving away from you. Lift the trunk. Lift the armpits away from the floor and face your sternum in the direction of the straight leg. Move the heel away from you and toes towards you using the strap. Keep the strap or your belt lengthened, keep the arms lengthened and look up. Lift the trunk away from the floor. Open the backs of the knees. Those that have lower back issues, stay here. But feel the legs, feel the line running under the leg from the hip to the heel extending. Feel the backs of the knees spreading. Lift the trunk. Feel the spine extending with the softness of the abdomen. Those of you that can, walk your hand down the belt, not all the way, and now lift the trunk and lean the sternum forward. The work here is now to widen your arms away from the belt to take the sternum forward. Remember, we're not going down. Even if you come to a 45 degree, it's fine. Once you've come to the almost 45 degree action, you can walk your hands further down the strap, keep it straight. And the work is to open the backs of the legs. Lift the trunk, lift the armpits, look forward. Widen the elbows away from each other and you'll find that it works to lengthen the hamstrings and widen the hamstrings, creating space in the back of the leg, allowing for the trunk to lean forward. Release the strap and let's change. Right knee in. Wrap the strap around the foot, the ball of the foot. Heel away from you, toe towards you, and lift. Lift the trunk, align the sternum to the left leg. Lift the armpits away from the floor. Feel the backs of the legs opening up as you lift the trunk. Soften the abdomen. The thigh of both the legs are very important. Roll the thigh of the bent leg away. The thigh of the straight leg is engaged. Can you move the bent leg away, allowing you to lift? If this is where you're comfortable, stay here. If you can, walk your hands further down the belt. Widen the elbows away from each other, creating space in the trunk. Move the shoulder blades into the body. Feel the spread of the legs and feel the back body opening up as you do this. Walk your hand down the strap. Widen the elbows away from each other. Come to an almost 45 degree and lift the armpits away from the floor. Lift the shoulder blades, lift the sternum. Feel the backs of the legs opening up. Leg thigh away from you, the bent leg knee away from you. Soften the abdomen and lift the trunk. Feel the back body spread. Gaze forward. Strap. Extend the legs out straight into Dandasana. Wrap the strap around both feet, and with the same action, lift the armpits away from the floor, create your L shape. If you're finding any tightness in the lower back, stay here, don't move forward. Now walk your hand down the strap, move the sternum forward, and now lift the sternum. Widen the elbows away from each other. Engage your feet, heels away from you, toes towards you. Push your thighs down, open the backs of the knees, and widen your elbows away from each other, and look up. So it's not 90 degrees, it's more of an acute angle, coming to about 70 degrees or 45 degrees. The more you widen the elbows away from each other, spread the back and walk your hands down the strap. Lift the armpits away from the floor, engage it. Release. And release your legs into competence. Hold on to your ankles, lift the trunk, draw the elbows in towards the side of the trunk. Feel the back body spread. Feel the front body spread. Open up the hips. Move the shoulder blades into the body. Bend and draw the elbows towards the side. From here, hold on to your right big toe, straighten the leg out to Upavista Konasana. Hold on to your left big toe and straighten out the leg, Upavista Konasana. If you have two straps, it will help you. And now lift the armpits away from the floor and up. The work here is to push the thighs down, heels away from you, toes towards you, but move the shoulder blades into the body. Stay in this pose, use a strap. If you can, hold on to the outside of your feet, bend your knees, and walk to straighten the legs. This gives you more of a 45 degree, widen the elbows away from each other, spread the back and Pada Konasana. Lift the trunk, holding both your toes. Straighten the right leg forward, straighten the left leg forward. Use a strap if you have to. And now push the thighs down, heels away from you, toes towards you. Lift the trunk, widen the elbows away from each other to spread the back body. Your hands. Pull the legs into Asana. And come to lie on your back for Supta Swastikasana. Come to lie on your back for Supta Swastikasana. Raise up your knees, keep your feet flat on the floor, feel the lower back settle. So these forward extension movements will strain the lower back if it's tight. So we need to be very cautious with these extensions. With both hands, draw both your knees in towards the trunk. Relax the foot, soften the abdomen. Feel the lumbar spread. Down. And just to bring some release to the lumbar spine, breathing in, lift into a gentle Chatushpadasana. Breathe out and release. Lift. One more time, breathing in, lift the hips, press the feet down, lift the sternum. Move the shoulder blades into the body. Both hands, draw both your knees in towards the armpits. Straighten your right leg, straighten the left leg, and release into Shavasana. Roll out your thighs, Feel the lumbar back settle. Feel the thighs rolling out. Feel the spread of the back body, especially the backs of the legs. Spread the back of the trunk. And as you breathe out, feel the body spread onto the mat. Soften the abdomen. Focus on just the exhalation, a slow, long exhalation, softening the abdomen as you breathe out. Both your hands on the abdomen. Raise up your knees one by one, keeping the feet flat on the floor. And take your feet slightly wide. Feel the lumbar spine release, feel the lower back release. If you have any tightness in the lower back, I suggest you stay here for a while. Focus on the rise and fall of the abdomen as you breathe in and breathe out. Up your right arm all the way past the right hip. Roll over onto your right hand side. And press to the left hand to come to sit. Release the hips to the floor. Release the sitting bones. Feel the length of the trunk. Feel the spread of the back body. Join the palms together. Slow, long, deep breath in. As you breathe out, release the chin to the chest. As you breathe in, slowly raise up your head. Release your hands and open your eyes. Thank you for joining the session. Have a wonderful day, and we will meet tomorrow. Thank you.